The one thing no one can accuse Tokyo Scramble of being is unoriginal in its premise. You play as a young girl who, after a subway crash, finds herself trapped deep underground. As she comes to and begins looking for a way out, she quickly discovers that this subterranean environment is inhabited by dinosaurs. Progression is level-based, with most levels consisting of 1 or 2 large rooms. Your goal is to sneak your way past wandering enemies and out the other side. Every stage or two will introduce a new monster, ranging from fairly straightforward dinosaurs to giant bugs and bats. Each creature, theoretically, has a unique mechanic. However, in practice, a lot of them just amount to being an enemy that will see you and run after you. That's the biggest struggle Tokyo Scramble faces. While the premise is wild, the actual execution just isn't very interesting. There is a lot of enemy variety visually, but your method of dealing with them rarely evolves in any real way. The stealth mechanics blend both visual and auditory detection, and each works reasonably well, though it can be difficult to determine exactly what the detection range of an enemy is, which makes the stealth feel a little loose. Your only companion as you journey through the underground is your smartwatch, which can be used to interact with various environmental objects. Signs can be lit up, escalators activated, and fire alarms pulled. These interactions generally serve as distractions or traps for enemies. That said, I found that I had to use them exactly as the game intended, with very little margin for creativity. For example, the escalator can be activated to trap a certain kind of dinosaur on an endless treadmill. I first tried to do this by getting the dinosaur to chase me up the escalator, then activating it once it stepped on, only for it to completely ignore the movement of the steps entirely. Rather, it has to notice the escalator while off of it and trigger a pre-scripted animation to step onto it and be trapped. There is a trend throughout the experience of not just understanding what an interaction does, but needing to figure out how the game actually wants you to use that function in a very specific way. Your watch also has a flash function with a limited number of charges, which can be used to briefly stun pursuing enemies. I found myself falling back on this mechanic rather than fiddling with the other interactive parts of the environment, which was unfortunate as the game clearly wanted me to engage with that puzzle element. It just wasn't fun. Visually, Tokyo Scramble can be a little bland. The monsters themselves actually look very good and animate well. It's clear that they're where the majority of the effort has been placed. Environments, by comparison, are very flat with largely pre-baked lighting that doesn't feel like it's pushing the hardware in the slightest. On the bright side, that means that performance is smooth and the image is reasonably sharp. Tokyo Scramble has a wild, if somewhat nonsensical pitch that unfortunately doesn't translate to a very good game. It neither uses its premise to create a unique stealth experience, nor does it lean into its own ridiculousness enough to be compellingly campy. There is a nice attempt at enemy variety and an honest effort at puzzle-based stealth, but it just never comes together. There are moments where you can see what Tokyo Scramble is aiming for, but what you're left with is a remarkably mediocre stealth experience.
This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.